Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Hongos, and in this video we're going to be looking at the Aputure MC. This light has been out for quite a while now, and I was actually pretty hesitant to pick this up, because why would I do that when I already have a gigantic, like 30-pound light that I can move around for every scene? That was just a joke, because it's a 30-pound light that I got tired of moving. And this pocket seemed to be the one that's mentioned by everybody. Before we get started in the review, this is what's included in the box. And I believe Aputure was very generous with what they included in there. From the start, you get an Apple-like experience unboxing the Aputure light. As it slowly rises, it's supposed to mimic your heart rate. Then you get a carrying case, some diffusers, and some 3M tape. I'm really happy that they included this already baked into the package, because there's nothing more annoying than companies making you buy a product like this for like an extra $30. So I think that they did the right move, and I see Aputure in a much better light, because I would not pay for this. Like it would just be a waste of plastic. Then there's the diffuser, which I'm not very happy about. It takes quite a bit of time to put on here. There's another Aputure light that you just snap it on there. And I would have much preferred that, because whenever I was shooting my movie, the previous one about my room, and I'll be referencing that throughout the video, because that's where I found the most versatility with this light as a solo one-man filmmaker. Then the 3M tape, I didn't actually use it, that's why it still looks brand new. And I don't know where I would use it, right? Because it's a one-time thing. Then we have to talk about the light itself. And from the start, it's an A+ build quality. The metal in the back is fantastic. You also get some magnets on it, which comes in very useful. And I'm hoping that there's some sort of accessory like lineup that utilizes the magnets. I didn't really look around too much, because I was like, okay, I'm probably not gonna like it too much. But now I'm looking more into a company that just focuses on the magnets in the back. Let me know in the comments down below if there are any. And on the top, you also get your OLED LCD screen. You choose from 4 different modes, from your HSL, your color temperature / intensity, your Bluetooth reset, and your effects. The effects from the start are easily accessible from just the item itself. You kind of name it and they have it in here. There's only a limited selection, but you get more with the application, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. The hue and saturation panel, you can move around and get a crazy amount of colors. And then you get the one that you're probably going to be using the most, which is the intensity and the color temperature. At the moment, this is at 100%, and you can see it's really, really intense. I'm trying not to look too much to the side because it's really, really blinding. On the left, you have your power, a knob where you control the modes that it's in, and the intensity for each of its categories. This light was also a bit ahead of its time with USB-C. I'm very happy, because USB-C everything, that's the future that we're going to, and it makes it just so much easier to travel with. On the right, you have your ventilation. Then on the bottom, you have your thread. This thread is only in landscape mode, and I wish they also just give us the option to go into portrait mode too, like this. But that might just be for me. I don't know. I just want to have more options, right? In terms of the build, something that I wish they would improve on is the LCD. Oftentimes when I was shooting and I was sitting down and the light was above me, I try not to use my phone when I'm on set as a distraction, but I couldn't see what the color intensity was. Did I move it around? Did I accidentally bump into it? So a way to display it from a glance would be a fantastic addition to this light. I don't know where they would cram it in, or if they would have to make it longer, but having to do this all the time is kind of annoying. And just having what I advocate for, which is a universal Aputure physical remote, would just be really, really great. Some of the added features too is the wireless charging, which comes in very, very handy. They're definitely not the fastest charging speeds, but if you need them in the pinch, then they're very useful. There's the color temperature range, which is from 32K to 65K. Then you have your Bluetooth connection, which is how you actually gain a majority of the access to this light. You have the crazy option to use this light with not just 1 or 2 or 20, but 100 of these can be placed on the application, and then you can move around and play freely with it. I was completely amazed and wondered why anybody would get 100 of these. But after using it, I can understand why they would do something like that, getting a whole bunch of control. The application really is where the magic shines too, because that's where you get your entire hue and saturation. Sometimes it disconnects, which is pretty annoying, not just from this light, but the other AMRAM that I use. I'll be giving a review on that as well. Is it the biggest problem in the world? Maybe if you have one light, no, but if you're connecting to 100 lights, then it might be. They use the mesh network, so I don't know if that would be a difference in the way that they connect, right? We're gonna move forward to how I personally used it for my last movie, and it was mainly for those small B-roll shots where I didn't want to take out my entire setup, right? And there's absolutely no excuse to going from here to here as being a huge hassle, right? Just like anybody could do it. So that's where the light played a huge role. Just being able to move, fill in this accent right here, add a little bit more fill, make sure you don't get too close. And since it's so small, you can just crop in a little bit so that way they don't see the light, right? This is excellent for small spaces. Let me just show you what I mean by that. So if you have a small space, and I know there's quite a few reviews that say don't use this as a key light, which is your biggest light source, but I beg to differ, because at the moment, this is definitely at 100%, and you get this really fantastic sort of noir look. But with YouTube, you want it to be really, really well lit. But I don't see why you couldn't use 2 of these lights to fill in the gap, right? You add your fill and your secondary and you're good to go. If you have some basic ceiling lights or natural light coming in, then I don't see why this could not be an option. I'm in the camp that this can be used as a fill. Look at how fast I can change the way that the scene looks, right? I went from a very noir look to a very interrogation-like, where were you on January 6th, We're just joking here, no politics, please. You see how fast I was able to change the mood within seconds? There's really no friction between it, and I think that's where combining multiple of these lights, having the application do all the work, you just standing here with your phone, or a future Aputure remote, like one of these bad boys right here, would just play a fantastic role. Now let me get back to just regular. That's where the power comes in the mesh network and having multiple of these. So if you're someone like me who, doesn't have much room, it only looks big because of the lens, then this is a great option. Like having 4 of these, like in the pack, and filling it in, and just having a basic C-stand will get you very, very far. The only way that I could see an improvement for the next generation is just getting a snap-on diffuser, and also a better glance at I'm turning it off because it's just burning my retinas, and then just having a better LCD indicator, that way I'm not looking over like this. And the battery life is fantastic. You get like 2 hours, and with so many portable light options, then it just makes it so much easier to travel with. If you're a vlogger, then you can just have a small rig and put it on top, so that way you look properly exposed at night, which is when you're pushing the highest ISOs. We shoot 12,800 on this channel sometimes, so I'm not making excuses for anybody, but Aputure really nailed it in a rare V1, right? Like this is the Aputure MC 1. So they got a lot of things right, which I'm very happy about. It's been a few years, so that means there might be a next iteration, and I don't see how you can improve much more. And you can also slap some gels onto here and make it look how you want, but the level of accuracy that comes from the light itself, like I don't know why you would need a gel. Maybe it's a little bit more old school, and we're a little bit more tech savvy on this channel. So at $90, I think it's worth it. The case, I kind of wish I bought the case now, because it wirelessly charges them through just one mechanism, and again, it would speed things up, and you would be able to set up with like a basic, stand like this, bada boom, bada bing, and you're off to the races. So I know it's 2022, so I'm a little late to the game, but I don't know, it's just a lot of fun to have such a pocketable light with such a cool little Aputure bag. this is cute. Like I would just use this as like, yeah, just like this really cute bag. Thank you, Aputure. But let me know your thoughts and opinions. Do you plan on purchasing one? And if you already own like the set, how have you creatively used it for, you know, your videos? What do you suggest I do with it? I love to experiment more with it because bending light is fun. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, like, comment, and subscribe. At the end of the day, I thank you so much for your time and your attention. My name is Hongos, and I'll catch you in the next one.